when we have stuff like this happening in the States, the people just like wake up at their normal time and go about their normal business and then bitch at the heat. It's 8:15. I've been awake since about 6:30, and there are so many people out doing things. Like, I think the shops have opened up early so that people can come down, get their coffee, have their morning stuff, you know, before the sun rises and tries to murder us all.
The sun is a dead laser.
I don't know where he references these things. I swear to God, he's...
History of the world. History of the entire world, I guess.
Oh.
Can we go up on land? No. Why? The sun is a deadly laser.
Okay. I watched it once, and it was like, I'm like, this is... The one about Japan was funny, and then the one about the entire world was like, yeah. I didn't find the Japan one like rolling on the floor laughing to begin with, so when I watched the world one, I was like, okay, seen it. So I'd forgot a lot about most of it. But I understand the memes now of that weird, like, tripped out, you know.
The text that's kind of...
Yeah. I mean, I understand the meme references, but I'm not really into those. I don't know. I was thinking about the physics. I was like, but it's not a laser. It's like the furthest thing from a laser.
You don't understand hyperbole.
No, like I said, I get the joke, but that's why it didn't make any sense, because when I heard the joke, I was like, ha 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 ha. The science dummies are gonna think of that as just truth, and they're gonna think of it as funny because jokes are funnier when they're true, which is probably why it's not that great of a joke to me, because I know it's not true. But anyways, so yeah, I'm doing legs later today at the typical time in the afternoon when everything starts getting super warm. So I can go take advantage of air conditioning. Like, I understand that, like, when you got a small gym like that, it's easy to air condition, especially when you've got like 4 of those, like, I love the air conditioners that are like square panels in the ceiling.
Yeah.
But the gym doesn't have like the drop ceiling, so there's just these there's just like these 5 air conditioners hanging from the ceiling with the little like bump out that's supposed to have like the air goes in the center and comes out the side. And I'm like, this is very strange, but hey, it works. But when you leave the gym into the little coffee shop area, it increases by about like, we'll say it in Fahrenheit, it increases by like 10 degrees. We're still inside, but then again, that area is also a 2-story, I guess, is it in an atrium? I mean, it's 2 stories. It kind of is the central area, the building. Yeah. And at that point, it's just a pain in the butt to be an air conditioner on that part. So, considering that there's an unimpeded thing down to the outside, pathway to the outside door, so anybody coming in is just going to flood cold air out, and your 2nd floor restaurant is not going to be all that cold. Yeah. So you're going to go into... Is your office air conditioned, or is everyone just like, close the windows?
We have to close the windows because the AC turns off if they're open.
Oh, right. I forgot if it was just like one of those where it's like, close all the windows. And like, I thought about doing that here, like shutting down the apartment and like trying to close all the blinds, but then I realized that worked in the last one because we were on the 2nd floor, not the 5th floor. All right. I think I did a little bit of video this time. No, I was editing a video. There was a video recently where it was just before noon and I was checking something about Pokemon. And I was hoping that things would reset at like noon. Well, it's shortly before noon. This has nothing to do with Pokemon, but I'm losing my brain. Because maybe it has something to do with Pokemon. That thing was a mistake on Pokemon. Something got activated in an update and it wasn't supposed to be. I'm suspecting that maybe like the whole Team Rocket thing is supposed to be a Halloween thing. Maybe. I don't know. The thermostat just ticked up to 29 centigrade. That's 85 degrees. It is currently 85 degrees in my apartment. The breeze feels good. I have turned my computer off. Aaron's goes to sleep, so that's not happening. Thought I had something on my chin. I'm like, no. Oh, it's the record button. We're going to have burgers tonight. I don't know what else is going to happen. I have therapy tomorrow. What can you do on days like this? Just refrigerated water. Like, I'm probably gonna, when I go to Albertheim, I'm probably gonna I'm gonna look for at least, it's been sitting in the refrigerator for a couple days. That's good. And I say by a couple days, meaning it is actually cold. Not like I brought it home from Albertheim sitting on a warm shelf, or like sometimes my beer is on a warm shelf, and I bring it home, and then I put it in the fridge, and it's like been sitting in there for 4 hours. And it may not be nice and chilled, but 500 milliliters, half a liter of water. I also try to run the tap water to get that as cold as possible. Hilarious. You always like when there's a heat wave because like you keep all the windows open, but all the flies that are usually hanging out in your apartment are like, they just kill over. They don't handle it very well. They just, I mean, there's one guy. He's right there. He's just chilling on the corner. Yeah, but that's it. Like we had like 5 or 6 flies in here like 3 days ago, and now he's the only one. The rest of them were like, they just killed over, or they left. They're like, fuck, F this. Oh hell. So yeah, I'm gonna be taking the garbage down. I'm gonna go to Albertheim. I might just hang out in Albertheim for a bit. After, I've acclimated to the temperatures that come in on the Netherlands. So, I get it. It's 29 and a half. Your daily weather forecast. It's currently 32. Feels like 35. Which is 2 degrees away from mean body temperature. Which is when, and everything just gets so bleedingly hot. You leave Albertheim, you walk into the bakery, and you're just like, can I get a yellow one? She's like, 3.50. Yeah. Then she said, het is deertig in mijn woonkamer. She said something about bijna 40. And I'm like, it's 40. I'm like, And I'm like, oh, you either said 4th or 40th. And my American ears in this heater just don't give a crap, but I'm at a high floor and there's so much oak growing in the canal right now. Look at that. It's not that pristine little water anymore. It's so warm that everything's like coming to the surface and growing a lot because there's a lot of sunshine hitting it. But I have all my stuff. I have salad. We have some fruit. I have cheese. I got buns. I got the bacon. I got my protein shake, which is getting warm right now. I've got a couple beers. I'm giving a walk for Pokemon and to get a little bit of sun on my upper body. I'm thinking about going into a longer bike ride, but I don't know, because it's like not even noon 30 yet. Like, I didn't really understand what the lady in the bakery said. Oh, you sort of like gave that sort of like half-assed suffering smile. I don't know. I'm just like losing my mind. I'm like, I want to shower, but it's sort of like, why? You know, it's gross feeling always.
A few moments later.
Alright. I got home from the gym. I bought an iced tea at Albert Heijn. And then one of those Team Rocket gyms showed up. By the way, I wound up doing like some deadlifts also. So I'm adding more things. I asked one of the guys at the gym if I could do deadlifts because of the collarbone thing. He goes, well, that doesn't really put much strain on the actual bone more than it does your actual shoulder joint. I was like, well, my break was closer to the middle than it was the outside. He goes, well, then you should be pretty fine. Just don't go super heavy. I'm like, okay. So I wound up doing some deadlifts after stuff. So not only did I do like 2-plate squats, multiple sets, not only did I do like hamstring and quads and glute bridge and walking lunges with 2-kilo bag on my back, I also did deadlifts that were like, I think it was 2 plates, but it's deadlifts. It's easier to do a deadlift at 2 plates than it is a squat at 2 plates. Just saying. Picking something up from the ground to about hip level is a lot easier than trying to put something on your back and not die. I mean, even Aaron can attest to that one.
Yeah, but I don't know why.
Well, to be fair, you don't have... For people that may just be starting out with fitness, a deadlift is a lot easier to get heavy stuff because if you can't pick it up, you can just let your fingers go. Versus if you unrack squat, you can crunch.
Gotcha. So it's not easier, it's safer.
Yeah, it's easier because... It's also easier because you're not putting all that load on your spine necessarily. You still are. You have to keep your body, you have to keep your spine, your spine needs to stay straight up while you're doing it, but you're not compacting things per se. Stills, when he was doing his, like most everybody doing that lifting thing would bench less than they squatted, less than they deadlifted. Like he was pushing 735 kilos deadlift. I think. There's a link to that. That was a team that was not great for me, yada yada, but that whole competition was great to watch in and of itself. So that's powerlifting at its finest. Like the king shit of Oregon was powerlifting in front of me, as well as other people in the competition. It wasn't just Stills. But that Team Rocket thing is stupidly hard, and I don't know how to work it yet because I only found one stop. They've instituted a quest chain, we'll call it. Is that what we're calling them? Like one-off dailies versus, they've instituted a quest chain. So this is probably an in-place mechanic for the foreseeable future. Rather than an event, like you suggested before. It is 33 degrees in the apartment.
That's why we're both shirtless.
Yeah,
Oh,
bro, it can
that's
be
why
like
I'm
60 in the apartment.
That's why I'm shirtless.
That's why Aaron's shirtless. But yeah, like I said.
First of spring, you'll be shirtless. But
Yeah, you guys can see how. Yeah, I don't know why I'm flexing. I'm so out of it. Like I met Aaron at work, and I stood in the shade, and I was like, "Where is he? I can't stop. The wind needs to dry my sweat. It's 38 degrees outside. The air temperature is more than my internal body temperature. Let me stay moving." But yeah, so the burger patties aren't going to get much to the cook, right? Like, they don't take long to cook. Yeah, they're warm, but...
yeah, not too much.
I'm losing my mind. I will catch you guys tomorrow for whatever one-off video I do for Friday.